What did I want to be when I grew up? Well, for me, it came down to three choices. Well, four actually, but it turns out being James Bond isn't a real job. I wanted to be an airman in the RAAF, a video game reviewer, or work at the Queensland Museum because they had a skeleton of Australia's own Muttabuttasaurus. Now, I never quite became a historian, but thanks to 2 Point Museum landing on the Switch 2, I now get to live out my best virtual career building one. What's it like? Get out your plans, dust off that historian degree, and let's get prehistoric as we review 2 Point Museum for Nintendo Switch 2. That's right, gamers, it's time to head back to 2 Point County after a successful career running hospitals and universities to help bring the past, present, and even the future to life across a series of museums. 2 Point Museum carries forward the series' tongue-in-cheek humour, complete with over-the-top exhibits, animated characters, and a deadpan radio announcer who reports on your museum's latest disasters while reminiscing about the glory days of her time in the hospital and campus. It's all quite charming. Players are tasked with building and expanding museums, managing everything from staff wages and training to expeditions for new attractions. You can even curate guided tours to maximise guest entertainment, excitement, and most importantly, encourage generous donations, provided you've done your job right. 2 Point Museum continues the series' signature management and building formula established by 2 Point Hospital and 2 Point Campus. This time, the format takes several steps forward with new mechanics that add layers of depth and strategy. Early on, you'll start small by planting a few exhibits, decorating the surrounding area to increase the buzz, and then repeating that loop to attract visitors. But as you progress through new locations, you'll unlock mechanics that can enhance earlier levels, such as research projects that allow you to build new expedition tools. Certain staff types unlocked later in the game can even open up additional expedition opportunities. Now, expeditions will form the backbone of your museum's expansion. You'll send off a team of experts into different locations in search of new discoveries. Each expedition plays out through a series of events, some positive, some disastrous, and they'll affect the mission's outcome. Staff abilities can mitigate negative effects, and equipping a special item can turn things in your favour. The risk versus reward structure means that you will occasionally lose staff on expeditions, but their loss is not entirely in vain, because you can immortalise these fallen heroes with a memorial that will boost buzz and increase donations. Expeditions also present mid-mission dilemmas that can alter the outcome, like being pulled into a black hole that can either be resisted or accepted, delaying the team's return. Much like a real museum, 2 Point Museum reveals its best surprises gradually. The pacing keeps the systems and challenges coming even 30 hours in, maintaining a steady sense of progression. The familiar building and decorating tools that defined earlier games have been refined with themed decor to help increase buzz and drive those donations. Your usual management staples do return, like janitors needed to keep things spotless, or security to prevent theft, and there's also a new management feature for living exhibits, in which you must balance your creature's happiness and needs to help boost visitor excitement. Donations and grants will form the main sources of your income, so having a high buzz is vital if you want your museum to thrive. Exhibits also feature different rarities, giving higher quality items more perk slots, which will also further increase those buzz and profits. And it also gives the loot box element of Expeditions rewards a level of anticipation and excitement that make every returning helicopter an event all on its own. It's all very exciting, and the satisfying gameplay loop just doesn't really manage to wear itself thin. Graphically, 2 Point Museum retains the series' signature cartoonish, tongue-in-cheek art style, but the jump from Switch 1 to Switch 2 obviously adds noticeable improvements in visual fidelity. Character models are sharper, animations seem smoother, and the levels themselves are more detailed and vibrant. Exhibits are very cleverly designed, ranging from intricate dinosaur skeletons to elaborate modern art installations, each with its own personality. Even minor touches like visitor reactions or the way staff scurry about your halls helps bring these museums to life. The environments are varied and memorable, and each museum theme, be it historic, futuristic, or even fantastical, feels different with themed decorations, flooring, and background elements that make exploration fun. The user interface is clean and responsive, letting you focus on managing your museum without feeling cluttered or overwhelmed. And both docked and handheld modes look bright and lively, with little compromise to visual quality in either mode. The soundtrack complements the visuals nicely. There's gentle musical loops that provide a pleasant background while you manage your museums, rarely becoming repetitive. But where it stands out is when the music is occasionally interrupted by your deadpan radio announcer, who delivers humorous commentary and updates on museum happenings in a style reminiscent of GTA's talkback radio segments. Together, the visuals and the audio just create a charming, engaging atmosphere that makes running a museum very entertaining and visually satisfying. Now, while 2 Point Museum looks and plays great for the most part, it's not without its issues on the Switch too. Performance is generally smooth, but occasional hiccups can appear. You'll notice brief frame rate stutters when loading new sections of a museum, panning across large areas, or even opening exhibit options. Some visual effects can also behave oddly, with squares appearing around smoke textures or fire extinguisher effects. Stability, unfortunately, isn't perfect either, and on my very first play session, I actually experienced 2 crashes to the home screen before even starting the game, as well as a few additional crashes occurred throughout my longer play sessions. These issues aren't constant, and I think I maybe had a bit of bad luck there, but they can interrupt the flow of gameplay and will frustrate some players. Despite these drawbacks though, the core experience remains intact and most museums run fairly smooth once loaded. For my curators looking into accessibility, there are a few options to help make your time with 2 Point Museum more enjoyable. These include being able to adjust the UI size, removing flash effects, and reducing screen shake. Oddly enough, 2 Point Museum doesn't feature a mouse mode control style, despite being a game that it would suit perfectly. That said, the standard controller setup works rather well. Navigating menus, placing exhibits, and managing staff is intuitive, and the game is easy to play with the Joy-Cons or a Pro controller. For most players, the controls will not really get in the way of enjoying the game. However, I do know some gamers who prefer point-and-click precision may find that lack of mouse support a significant drawback. As always, I recommend further research into finding out if 2 Point Museum suits your needs. At just under $48 Australian, 2 Point Museum offers plenty of value in the sheer scope of its engaging content. 2 Point Museum is a charming, engaging management sim that successfully builds on the formula established by 2 Point Hospital and 2 Point Campus. The gameplay loop of building exhibits, managing staff, and sending expeditions is deeper and more strategic than ever, with new mechanics that keep things fresh even after dozens of hours. The series' signature humour shines through in quirky characters, lively visitors, and over-the-top exhibits, making each museum feel alive. Overall, 2 Point Museum is a fun management sim that offers both longtime fans and newcomers a chance to build memorable museums on Nintendo's new hardware. It's safe to say that this budding museum curator loved discovering new exhibits, managing his quirky staff, and building a charming cultural empire that was as rewarding as it was hilarious. So, what's it like? 2 Point Museum is like the other 2 Point games, but just with that whole new level of engaging depth. I award it an 86 out of 100. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you liked it, the best way you can support What's It Like is by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with your friends. For more reviews, click on the thumbnails to the right, and for everything Nintendo, check out whatsItlike.com.au.